So everyone's been asking me when this review of Atelier Playa Mujeres is coming out. So here it finally is. We stayed there in January 2024. It's ranked one of the best adults-only all-inclusive resorts in Cancun. And it's taken me some time to put this video together because I wanted to be honest and I want to tell you whether or not I think this resort is worth the hype. And if you are new to our channel, I hope you consider subscribing. 3 Days and Tres Noches brings you honest reviews, travel tips, and information about the destinations that we go to. And we are not paid by resorts to go there. That way we can really bring you those honest reviews. So let's get right into it. Is Atelier really worth the hype? It received so many awards in 2023. I had to go there and see for myself if I thought this was really one of the best adults-only all-inclusive resorts in Cancun. Let's talk about getting there. It's about 40 minutes from the Cancun airport, and that's without traffic. Now, we arrived on a Saturday morning, so there really wasn't a lot of traffic to combat with. If you arrive during a weekday, you could experience definitely higher traffic, and you do have to drive through the hotel zone to get there. So just keep that in mind that it could take a little bit longer. If you follow me, you know I always use Nacho Tours for all of my transportation needs when I'm in Cancun. We've used them for years. We're friends with him and his family. We don't get anything for recommending them. They're just a small family-owned business that we really believe in and like to support. So I will also put their information in the description if you would like to use them as well. I've also done a ton of videos about the Cancun airport and how to navigate it. So I will add those to the description so they're easy to find, and an updated Cancun Airport 2024 video will also be coming after this video. The resort does not provide airport transportation for free. It is an additional cost. Usually you have to arrange it through a travel agent, which we actually booked this trip through a travel agent, and we could have received the transportation that they provided, but we opted for the private transportation through Nacho. So Atelier is located in Playa Mujeres, which is north of the hotel zone, and it's one of my favorite areas of Cancun. In fact, we stayed at Excellence Playa Mujeres the previous year, which of course we do a bunch of videos on that as well, and I will do a later comparison video of these two resorts. But I do love that Playa Mujeres is in a gated community, so if safety is one of the concerns that you have about Cancun, especially everything that you hear in the media, then the Playa Mujeres area could be absolutely perfect for you. So check-in was actually a breeze for us. I have to give it a 9 out of 10, and I see so many complaints on the reviews about the check-in process. I think probably because we got there pretty early. We were taken right away. Now, the only thing is we really did want to upgrade to the Inspira level, and they said there was absolutely no availability. So that was a little bit of a disappointment, because I also really wanted to tell you whether or not it was going to be worth it to upgrade to the Inspira level. But I did get a little bit of sense of that, so I will talk about that at the end of the video. Now, for me, the lobby and the entrance to the resort can really make or break a first impression for me, which I know sounds ridiculous, but I'm a visual person. So I was impressed right away. The lobby was beautiful and spacious. There was a lot of light coming in. It was modern. They have a lobby bar, and the views were amazing. A huge pleasant surprise was that they did not try to sell us a timeshare. So based on the reviews that I read, I was kind of dreading this. I had my dukes up, ready to fight, but I don't know if we fell through the cracks. They did take us to a separate area where they did try to get us to do some excursions. And they taught us how to use the kiosk, which is where you can make your own reservations for all of the restaurants. Again, I will talk about that later. Which is the perfect time to reference the app for this resort. Make sure you download it before arriving. You can look at the restaurants and the menus and the activities. You can't make reservations for the restaurants before you arrive, but at least you can kind of strategize so that when you do arrive, when they take you to the kiosk, you can actually make reservations for all of the restaurants that you want to eat at. Another pleasant surprise was that our room was ready. Again, we arrived really early. I want to say it was around noon on a Saturday. So I was shocked. I don't think that's ever happened to us before at an all-inclusive resort. So now let's get to the room and I'll show you a room tour. This is a junior suite ocean view non-Inspira, so just regular level, and overall it's pretty much a 10 out of 10. In this video, I'm just going to give a brief overview of the room, but I will release a more detailed room tour in the next few weeks. The rooms really tell you that this is a newer resort, just based on the decor, the cleanliness, the fixtures, and the setup. So I loved how the bathrooms were separate from the bedroom area. A lot of resorts that I've been to lately, there is no partition between the bathroom and the bedroom. But there is an option to open up the bathroom area to the bedroom area with these really cool sliding doors. The bathroom had almost everything that I love in a resort bathroom, including the double sinks, the separate toilet, and the separate shower. Now, I've never been a fan of the elongated bathtub that's in the middle of the bathrooms at some of these resorts. I definitely prefer the big jacuzzi tubs like we had at the Palace Resorts and the Excellence Resorts, but this is not a deal breaker for me. But if you're someone who likes the big jetted jacuzzi tub, it may be something to think about. And overall, they do a really great job of the layout of the room and what's in the room. So we had an ocean view junior suite, and this included this little desk area, which is a good time to let you know that this resort does attract large conventions. So that's why this workspace is really important, because you have a lot of people that go there that need to also work. Also in the room is an espresso machine. So if you're someone like me who likes to have coffee when I first wake up, this was great to have. And of course, a mini fridge that is stocked with sodas and beer and water. Now, I love that they stocked you up on bottled water, because you're using that all the time, whether you're brushing your teeth or filling up the coffee machine or just drinking it. They had snacks as well, which were great, and then wine. Now, I'm not a wine drinker, so I did miss having the bottle of alcohol in the room, like the vodka or tequila, because sometimes at night it is nice to make yourself a drink. That is only for the upgraded rooms, and we were just in a basic room. So if you're someone like that as well, maybe stop at the duty free and bring one with you. And I love the separate seating area and the fact that it had a big enough table in the room that you could actually, for 2 people, sit down and have room service. Now, if you are someone who loves to watch TV from bed on vacation, you're going to love this room setup. Now, I'm not one of those, so I never even turned on the TV, so I can't tell you what channels that they have, but I'm sure at a resort like this, there's quite a variety. And they had a nice sized balcony. Now, this is considered ocean view. The way that the resort is set up, really there's only a few rooms that are front facing with an ocean front, and those are in Spira level. So all of the other ones on the side are what they consider ocean view. I was also very impressed with the housekeeping staff. They came in every single day, cleaned our room. It was spotless. They even folded our clothes if needed. So this is a little plug for the housekeeping staff. Make sure that you tip them. They do work really hard. They're the unsung heroes of all resorts. We were in building 3. I know people will ask, and the building numbers definitely seem to be a hot topic of conversation. And overall, the layout of this resort is very weird. It's very odd. It's hard to get used to. There is a lot of walking, so I'm going to talk about that more at the end, and it's something that might deter me from coming back to this resort. On to the pools. Now, Atelier has 4 different pools, but 2 of them are in Spira only. So I'm usually not a pool person. I prefer the beach, so I don't spend a lot of time at the pool. So I don't know if I can really rate the pool experience, but one of the biggest downsides at this resort in general is the chair game. This is actually an issue at most resorts that I've been to, where people get up really early to go save their seats. And honestly, I don't blame them, because otherwise they probably won't get a seat, which usually happens to me because I refuse to get up early to go save seats. This resort attracts groups, so it attracts conventions, bachelorette parties, girls groups, couples groups. So people are getting up early, and they're not just saving 1 or 2 seats, they're saving many seats. Now, at a budget-friendly resort, I don't know why it doesn't bother me as much, but when you are spending almost $1,000 per night at a resort, I just feel like you shouldn't have to get up and fight for chairs. And at this resort, I noticed it was really worse than any other resort that I had been to. With that being said, I did like the setup of the main pool. It is large. There's lots of different areas that you can hang out in. There is a swim-up bar. They also have a separate hot jacuzzi, which you don't see at a lot of resorts, and they did have entertainment. I also loved that it was right next to the beach, so you could go back and forth from the pool to the beach very easily, which is something that I do like to do, but we didn't get to spend a lot of time at the pool, like I said, because there were just no seats. So we would go to the relaxing pool, which was kind of quite a walk from the beach. It's over by our room, but it does have a swim-up bar. It was a little bit easier to find seats, but again, it is very quiet. And of course, they have poolside service. We did not eat while we were at the pool, although we did eat at one of the restaurants by the pool that I'll talk about later, but we did get great service when we were at the main pool. And there are 2 Inspira-only pools, an oceanfront pool and a rooftop, which of course I didn't get to because we were not able to upgrade. But if you do upgrade to Inspira, just know that those are options for you as well. They are definitely going to be more quiet, but you will not have problems finding seats. Now let's hit the beach, and if you follow me, you know that this is definitely a priority for me when I'm on vacation. I want a really good beach experience. And I have to say, it was a little bit of a disappointment for me here at Atelier. However, I knew that before I even went. So I was going to this resort really because I wanted to see what all the hype was about. And everything in the reviews that people had said about the beach was completely true. So it wasn't necessarily a surprise, but it's definitely something that would deter me from going back. First issue was the weird setup of the beach. Again, I knew this going into it. But most of the chairs are set way back from the ocean. You don't have a really good view because it's set behind kind of this greenery and you feel really separate. Now, Playa Mujeres is very windy, so there is reasoning behind this because as you get closer to the ocean, it is very windy. So even when we would try to sit by the ocean, sometimes it was uncomfortable because it was so windy. But again, even trying to find chairs at the beach was pretty much impossible. One time we just had to sit in the sand. And I would find myself getting up in the morning kind of dreading going to the beach thinking, oh, I have to fight for chairs. Now, over in the Inspira section, there were plenty of chairs. So every time I walked by, I just was reminded of why I wish I was able to upgrade because I think I would have had a better experience. And I'm also wondering if I really raised a stink about it, if they would have taken some of those chairs and put them over into the non-Inspira section for us. Also in the non-Inspira section, I could tell there was not enough servers for how many people were there. So drinks were taking a long time and they definitely should have staffed it up a little bit more, although the bar is right there, so it was no problem just to get up and get your own drinks. The ocean waters in Playa Mujeres are very calm versus those in the hotel zone, so this can definitely be another plus for this resort, especially if you're not used to swimming in the ocean. And the water was very clear. It was in January. I know sometimes it does get seaweed. We had gone to Excellence Playa Mujeres in November, which was right next door, and there was some seaweed during that time. Now it's time for some food and drinks, and if you follow me, you know I give very detailed reviews, so stick with me. And I always have a hard time with the food review because food is very subjective. And I've been to places where I think the food is horrible and other people are raving about it and vice versa. I was only able to experience 5 out of the 10 possible dining options that they offer, so it would not be fair for me to give an overall food review. And I know maybe that's why some of you are here because this resort receives raving reviews for their food. However, I was not personally blown away by the food itself. Now, I think the presentation, the experience, the service, all of that was definitely top notch. But in terms of the meals that we ate, I would say some were good, some were not so good. The first day we ate lunch at El Suspiro, which I did have a really good experience. For the most part, I enjoyed everything that I ate and I thought it was really good. I also loved the open air concept and the fact that it was very close to the beach. My favorite meals were actually at the buffet. Even though it was a little bit smaller, it did have everything that you needed, but it was very fresh. And I just loved all the different options, and I did love the service. It did feel a little bit like a cafeteria. I wish it was maybe outside or closer to the beach, but these were my favorite meals. I always look forward to the Italian restaurant whenever I go to an all-inclusive restaurant. Don't ask me why, but Salento did kind of disappoint me, and I was really looking forward to it. We went there at night for dinner. The views were amazing, and the service was amazing, and then we tried it again for lunch, and both meals I would say were just average. I tried Bikini Azul one day for lunch, and again, I thought the experience and the food were just okay. And we ordered room service, which is typically just average at all-inclusive resorts. So I am sure I missed some of the best food spots. So please put in the comments section your experiences, your feedback, your suggestions of some of the best restaurants to go to at this resort. But the bars and the mixology at this resort really truly blew me away. It's one of the best experiences I think I've ever had when it comes to drinks and cocktails. Bartenders like Rodrigo here from Bar de la Calle are true professionals, true mixologists. They can make every and any drink that you would ever want. Plus they have the smoke machines and they're putting special toppings on drinks and doing tricks behind the bars. It really is an amazing experience. Another special touch that I loved was the glassware that they used to put the cocktails in, which I know sounds weird, but it was different from any resort that I had been to. It's beautiful and high-end and unique and really helped set this experience apart, again, from any other resort that I had been to. There was no shortage of bars. You could always find a drink whenever you need it. There was a lobby bar, swim-up bars, again, the Bar de Calle, and we really enjoyed El Cielo at night as well. So during the day, this is only for Inspira members, but at night, it opens up to everyone. Liquor that they serve is all top shelf. So I'm talking Don Julio for tequila. For vodka, it was Belvedere, Grey Goose, and I don't drink whiskey or anything like that, but I know it was all top shelf, and you do not need to upgrade to get this. I'm a coffee girl as well, so I loved that this resort had 3 cafes, 1 in each building. Of course, I hit each one up, and they have specialty coffees, iced coffees, snacks, pastries, sweets, and ice cream. And they have a healthy cafe, which you know I love, called Alba, that has juices and smoothies, and then for lunch they have salads and healthy sandwiches. I didn't get there in the morning, which is the only time they had their juices and smoothies, so I was disappointed to get to try it, but I did hear that they are amazing. And finally, let's talk about the activities and nightlife. Again, I think they do a fantastic job with this. If you get that app on your phone, it does list every single day all the different activities, and there's something going on from morning until night. During the day, they had activities happening all around the resort. So at the pool, they had water aerobics. They had something different every single day. On the beach, they do have volleyball, and they have non-motorized water sports that are included in your stay. In fact, we took one out. I think this is the first time I've ever done that out of all of the resorts that I've been to, and I'm so glad I did. We had a blast. Then at night, they do have some entertainment options, not as much as I've seen at other resorts, but in the plaza area, they always had music, they had a sports bar, and they do have a nightclub here. It was really packed on Saturday night, but every other night it was pretty slow. And they have the usual fitness center and spa. So I did go to the fitness center one day. I thought their equipment was really nice and updated. I even did a Latin dance workshop that they were having, but I did not make it to the spa. I really try to do the hydrotherapy wherever I go, but I didn't make it this time. So if you have been to the spa and you can add any tips or feedback, please put those in the comment section below. So the question still remains, is Atelier Playa Mujeres worth the hype? And I think overall it is. Just like any resort, there's always going to be pros and cons. Now for me personally, I'm really glad that I experienced this resort at least once, but I don't know if I would necessarily return, really because of the beach situation. If you follow me, you know that is really the priority for me when I go on vacation, and compared to, let's say, Excellence Playa Mujeres and LeBlanc, it just wasn't the same. Also, just the saving of seats is really out of control at this resort, more so than I think other resorts that I've been to, really because it attracts big groups and large crowds. So when people are saving seats, they're not just saving 1 or 2, they're saving multiple seats. I was a little nervous about the convention scene before going, thinking that it might deter from my experience, but it really didn't. In fact, I enjoyed talking to people from the conventions, but it did add a little bit of a corporate vibe versus a resort vibe. And yes, the layout is very awkward. It takes some time to get used to, and there is a lot of walking, which usually I do not like at a resort. So if I were to return, I would have to make sure that I could upgrade to the Inspira level so that we could get the golf carts to go around and that we wouldn't have to fight for seats at the pool or the beach. And then your rooms are closer to the beach, and sometimes you could even get that ocean front. But it also means you're going to be in a much higher price category. And would I pay that much to go to this resort? Honestly, I don't think I would. And I do respond to all comments and questions, so if you have any, put them in the comment section below. I would definitely recommend joining our Facebook group because we've had many members who have been to Atelier, and again, what's something I may like in a resort, you may not like, and vice versa, so it's always great to get multiple perspectives. Please like and subscribe to our channel and keep following us at 3 Days and Tres Noches, where we keep bringing you those honest reviews, travel tips, and information about the destinations that we go to and show you can have an amazing vacation in a really short amount of time.